Yo, what up? Have you heard about this Annabelle doll in the Masonic ghost? It's Donut, and you tuning into all your Illuminati news. We're doing some detective work on this crazy story that just was released on 713. It actually happened a few days ago. So we're getting this news a little bit late. And we're streaming a little bit late. Please smash that like button. I see everybody up in the chat. We got some wild stuff to go over with this Annabelle case where the guy going on tour with this doll ended up passing away. So rest in peace to him and prayers out to the family. But it's a strange coincidence. I'm reading a book right now, just finished it, called Haunted Scranton in Pennsylvania, because we're doing a big case on the show The Office in Pennsylvania. And Pennsylvania seems to be going through a lot of rituals, the Keystone State. In Butler, this is where President Trump had his attempt on his life on 713. And this event went down on 713. So we're going to get into all the symbolism of the Baphomet next to the doll, the astrology lineup, and ancient Masonic ghosts haunting towns, because there's a lot of paranormal activity that goes on in Gettysburg. It's known as one of the most haunted battlegrounds through this whole Civil War process. And that's what we're hearing so much in the news is Civil War this, Civil War that, MAGA, this date 713. So this is the doll that is haunted. And the guy, Dan Rivera, he was going on tour with the doll and passed away. And on this, we could see the Baphomet card. On all the pictures they show of this haunted doll has this Baphomet devil tarot card. Now, I believe this is very connected to some astrological type ritual magic. We'll get into it because this tarot card is connected to Saturn and Capricorn. That's what this card is connected to. As we have just gone into Saturn's retrograde in Aries on July 13th, 713. Saturn goes into retrograde on July 13th. So I'm looking out for a black swan event to go down in the coming weeks or days in July. Saturn's retrograde is very connected to Aries and Mars. And also this tarot card is connected to that as well. But this is the strange thing is Dan Rivera, 54 years old, the lead investigator for the New England Society for Psychic Research and a U.S. Army veteran. That's very important. Passed away unexpectedly on Sunday, July 13th, 713, right when Saturn goes into retrograde and he's got the card connected to Saturn. During his visit to Gettysburg, which is a known veteran battle, and he's a veteran, so there's a lot of Army stuff, and this ancient lore of ghost haunting these towns in Pennsylvania and Scranton and Gettysburg is connected to all the tragedies that have happened in those states on those certain ley lines where the blood goes into the soil, announced on Monday evening. So right there, huge astrological alignments and the connection to this Baphomet imagery of Adam and Eve, with Eve having the red hair in a lot of depictions, this polarity of the masculine and feminine. This is the main picture the mainstream news is showing of Rivera and the Annabelle doll, looking very similar to the tarot card of the devil, where you got the Eve with the red hair, and this would be Rivera. Just seems to be very symbolic as this is connected to Saturn. So it's connected to death. It's connected to the Grim Reaper, Father Time. That's what it's for. So Gettysburg, I mean, tons of deaths happen at the Battle of Gettysburg. Not only the Battle of Gettysburg, but you got the different fightings that went on in the Wyoming massacres. Or even on this exact date in New York City draft riots on 7/13, the Manhattan draft riots about the Civil War. And I always thought this imagery was weird, how in an event like this, it's sort of a sorrow type event. And then you got Elon Musk jumping up and down. I always thought that was just weird, some symbolism. But the strangest thing is Scranton, the Electric City. As I'm doing this huge documentary right now on The Office, look forward to that movie coming out probably in August. I'm working very hard on it, and hard on, that's what she said. Reading this book, and it goes into the Masonic ghosts in Pennsylvania, but it also goes into the history of Scranton, the Electric City. I mean, full of criminals, full of stranglers, and they would execute them publicly. And then they changed those executions to electricity. So in these ghost lores, electricity with light switch going off and on, turning off and on, or people getting really cold. Something about the electricity, which is plasma. I mean, you see the Ghostbusters, which is like super occult. They got just tons of Illuminati type symbolism in that film. They're using that like plasma gun, that the blasting the ghost with, you know, and the ghost are plasma. So there's a lot of electricity, and this is the Electric City in Pennsylvania. And this is very connected because Pennsylvania, Scranton, the Electric City, making the pioneer of the electric trolley back in 1886. Even one of their trolleys is haunted, which is number 46. But this just goes into how they were this coal city moving all the coal around all of the U.S. I mean, it was a very, very important town. And during the Spanish flu, I mean, millions and millions of people passed away. And a lot of these bodies were put underneath different pubs, as alcohol was one of the only medicines, whiskey, to cure it. Because you had all these charlatans and snake oil salesmen selling cures, sort of like what we see today with a lot of YouTubers selling different types of vitamins or whatever. There's nothing new underneath the sun, nothing new under the sun. They were doing that with whiskey in a lot of these pubs or hotels. They would store in the basement. I mean, these basements run deep. Just, it was a morgue full of just bodies. And this guy, Dan Rivera, passed away at this hotel. Was this hotel he was at one of these places where they store all the bodies from the flu or from the battles that went on? And here's just some more symbolism of Frankenstein and the electricity that turn, you know, things alive, just showing we don't know what the heck electricity is. It's plasma. It's like intelligent life. And in these lores of these ghosts, especially in this book, Scranton, The Haunted Scranton, it goes into electricity, that every what is it called? The law of thermodynamics, energy can't be created or destroyed, so it just goes somewhere else. And that's sort of like one of the concepts in this book. And if it does go into electricity, it explains sort of the electric lights going off and on. And so in the show The Office, which is in Pennsylvania, right, just where this Annabelle thing happened, they go to Gettysburg. This is them at Gettysburg as well. And I mean, I've been diving deep on The Office for this documentary. You're going to love it. But in Pennsylvania, remember the phones weren't working? The 9/11 investigation continues of the outages. It wasn't the phone. It was the people could not call the emergency system. And this is still happening in New York. And like New York, Scranton, New Jersey, it's all being flooded. There's a bunch of strange phenomenons happening. 9/11 outage in Dutchess County, New York. This just broke today, 1 a.m. And could it be something to do with the other side? I don't know. We're just throwing that out there. You know what I mean? This is sort of an occult topic. I think it's sort of funny because we cover symbolism on the show. If you're new, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're subscribed, please ring the bell. I'm getting so many messages that people haven't seen me in years, and now they're finally seeing this stuff. So make sure to ring the bell and look out for this documentary we're putting on. And I'm going to show you the Masonic ghost lore, which is connected to the show The Office and Pennsylvania. So paranormal investigator Dan Rivera dies suddenly on Annabelle haunted doll tour. Annabelle is a known spirit of this little girl who goes into the body, and they made tons of movies on it, like The Conjuring and whatnot. But a lot of other films kind of go into this, whether that's the voodoo, which is very connected to Masonry as well. When you look at the Haiti voodoo and all the symbolism there with barbecue, with his Masonic compass on. But movies like Chucky was about voodoo, Pinocchio as well. These stories or lores go back to ancient Greece as well, with the statues turning alive, or big shows with Disney. Pinocchio. What do you think Pinocchio is? Pinocchio is an Annabelle or a golem. Paranormal investigator who helped lead Annabelle doll tour passes away in Gettysburg, where the Gettysburg battle happened, and he is also a veteran. So thank you for your service, Dan. Passing away on 7/13 when Saturn goes into retrograde with that little Baphomet there. I think that's quite important. I wonder if we can make this picture a little bigger and see what else on the fly. What kind of shirt was he wearing? He's wearing the Warren shirt. So Lorraine Warren was like the head investigator of this research community, I think, which is weird because Lorraine is the double cross. So you see the two crosses sort of right there. It's not really, but when it's connected, it's called the Cross of Lorraine, which is an ancient Knights Templar symbol, which is very important to the different ley lines in America. Paranormal investigator known for Annabelle doll dies suddenly, group says. I mean, that's even weird. Just that terminology being used. So I don't know what hotel he was at. I got some pulled up. It says Hotel Gettysburg. This building right here, where they had it go on, was this orphanage building that was haunted as well. Connecticut paranormal investigator and Annabelle doll handler died. So rest in peace. Paranormal investigator dies at 54 after touring possessed Annabelle doll. And you see, this is the picture they're showing everywhere with the devil card in it. Right there. The Baphomet devil card. I heard some people saying that there's pictures of him playing with the doll, so they're not supposed to take it out of the case. Very strange story, but we all know the movie Annabelle. Let me see what else is going on here. Oh man, this is wild. Please put your comments in the box below. I'm going to continue this. This is going to get crazy. 1 second. Oh, super strange. My phone just started playing videos. Hella scary. And we're at 3 o'clock in the midnight hour. So now it's getting really spooky because I do believe in ghosts, just like Pam Beasley does. And the whole story of Pam Beasley in the office seeing the different ghosts, they're actually Masonic ghosts because she worked at a haunted tavern. I'll show you all those images here, which is saved for the Office documentary. But I mean, what are the odds that I'm reading Haunted Scranton about the Pennsylvania ghost, and this Annabelle story happens in Pennsylvania? So all this information is like super fresh on my mind. So I thought it would be good to do a video on this. But super weird that my phone just started going off. Crazy. So Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, the Keystone State. We're in the summer solstice, which is connected to the keystone on the Royal Arch of Freemasonry, as we are in Cancer. But right here, Pennsylvania location in the US, this map is super important when it comes to the ley lines. And Gettysburg and Scranton, they're all very connected. New York, it's all close together, about a 2-hour drive, but it's all very close together on this ley line where they have all the different Ivy League schools, because this is the dragon line that they set up to have, you know, certain powers. You got Skull and Bones right here controlling a lot of the CIA and presidents and government and all that, all the top schools on the ley lines, even Andy Bernard at Cornell. And if you're new to this information and you're like, oh, that's woo-woo-y, well, let me tell you, there's ghosts in the White House as well. I should have pulled up some of that information, but yeah, there's like tons of lore there. So here's the flyers for the show. It's the first time ever Annabelle from the Warrens Occult Museum leaves her case. So it's the first time ever that Annabelle leaves this occult museum, and this tragedy happens in Gettysburg at the orphanage where this guy passes away on 7/13. The film The Conjuring is about this. Poltergeist is a German word for noisy spirit. And look, I mean, you could just see the same type of electricity, the white noise and the static coming from the television, or the movie The Ring, or the most famous movie, The Exorcist. The Exorcist is based off a true story that went down. This is the Exorcist house. This is a true story. And this kid was doing the Ouija board. That's why you don't do the Ouija board. Don't do it, because you are summoning spirits in another realm. And this house right here, it's haunted. People will buy it and sell it. People buy it for fun and then sell it because they all see spirits there in this house. Like, I don't know why this is blurred out. Isn't that freaking weird? Why is that blurred out? Why is that freaking house blurred out? All the other houses, I've never seen that on Google. Maybe that isn't the Exorcist house. Maybe this is the Exorcist house. I bet you maybe that's what that is. That even Google knows this stuff is haunted. But that's freaking weird, because it was telling me that this was the house right here. But maybe, I bet you it's this. I mean, tell me that's not freaking creepy. I'm going to screenshot that. Oh, I wish I could see. Okay, so this is the house, and no, so this is the house right here. That's the Exorcist house, the one that's not blurred out. It looks like, yeah. So this is the Exorcist house. Why the heck is the house next to it blurred out? And I mean, this isn't like something that happens. Look, we go down this road that looks like Stranger Things. Nothing's blurred out. Why is that freaking house blurred out? Why is that freaking weird? I'm gonna have to investigate that even more. Maybe y'all could tell me that in the comment. Hello, everybody in the comment. I see you, Aussie girl, up in here. Yeah, the Amityville is connected to all this too. Okay, So this is getting creepier as we're investigating the story. This is just getting super scary. I'm getting scared. Are you getting scared? So here's a Masonic building in Pennsylvania, in Scranton, where the show The Office takes place. And it's built on a home of a guy named Dixon, who had a company called Dixon Works, which you probably know from The Office. The Office shows this building, even says Dunder Mifflin of The Office right here in Scranton. This ancient building right here is the company that this Masonic building was built upon, on Dixon's home. Dixon's home, they tore it down and built this big Masonic temple that is haunted with Masonic ghosts. Ghosts wearing Masonic robes, ceremonial robes, are seen. Here's the paper supply company of Scranton. So these old buildings, especially if they're made out of limestone, they harness like the energy of the spirits that could get into them. So all these people were passing away. I mean, millions of people during the war stuff. While the war was going on, there was this huge sickness, and everyone was lying because nobody wanted to get caught. So everyone was manipulating their numbers. So, oh, nothing wrong here. Nobody's passing away here. But Pennsylvania was huge. They were one of the biggest death tolls during that time in the 1920s, I believe. I mean, just not even a century, or just like 40 something, 60 years, maybe 50 years after the Gettysburg bloodshed. And right here is another haunted location. I believe this is where Pam Beasley worked at, where she saw the man in black ghost, which is the Masonic ghost in the Masonic ceremonial robe. Right here, the Banshee Pub. They changed its name. It's not the Banshee Pub anymore, but this was the time where 50 to 100 million people worldwide passed away around World War I. But these old buildings, they changed different names. So people just go here to go eat at a restaurant. But there's like a ton of crazy history that is there. And there's a basement here where they stored all the bodies where people were sick. The Banshee, beware of the basement, the most haunted in the Electric City. So the Scranton Cultural Center at the Masonic Temple, Masonic Ghost. It's Dixon Manufacturing Company, now Pennsylvania Paper Supply Company. So, I mean, it's straight connected with The Office. Even the show The Office shows the building in the beginning. So this was his home that they tore down and built this Masonic order temple at. And so they're pretty crazy. Right here, it goes into the man clothed in a dark black cloak. The Masonic cloak members of the Masonic orders, people see this apparition. They see other apparitions as well. But I'm going to save a lot of that for the Office documentary to come out probably around August. So, I mean, there's just more stories. There's just tons of stories of different ghosts all over Pennsylvania. Pretty crazy that this Annabelle story is happening in Pennsylvania. Pretty crazy stuff. I'm looking out for July 17th. I think a black swan is coming with the whole astrology of the Saturn going retrograde. And I even was talking about there was going to be a boom in July when I was hanging out with Christopher months ago in Japan. And now we're going to see, I think, a black swan type event happen connected to collapsing. I don't know what is going to be, but I think that will be happening soon because the emoji calendar is July 17th, but bigger than that is July 20th. It's the 201 day of the year. And there's 201 episodes in The Office. So this is a huge occult number, the 201. Last year, we said on the 201 day of the year, there was going to something go down. The largest outage in world history, I believe, happened on that day, on July 19th, because it was a leap year. Oh, this is an article, an AA attempt. Interesting. So this is where I think the guy passed away. I can't confirm it, but a lot of these spirits are in these hotels and in the basements because of the old history there. And if this is limestone, they stay in the limestone. So I don't know. But I think it's pretty crazy, especially because it has the red hair. And we were just talking about the McDonald's killer with the red hair wearing the Jason mask in the Jason months, as we just entered the Jason months of July, August, September, October, November. So this Annabelle doll having the red hair, I don't know, something up with the red hair. If y'all know what the red hair is all about, please let me know, because I think it goes into something. But this story, this lore, even if this damn thing isn't a haunted thing, the lore is ancient. It goes back to ancient Greece as well. Right here with the myth of Galatia, where the statue came alive. Same thing. The statue came alive. Or if it's Pinocchio or whatever. But these are called Fortean phenomenons. In the Book of the Damned by Charles Fort, where we get the word Fortean phenomenon, he covers all these strange events that do go down. And he did talk about different spirits throwing stuff. And there's the Thornton Road poltergeist claim, where you got these spirits throwing stuff, and there's a bunch of different stuff like that goes on where they're throwing stuff. So very, very strange stuff. Shout out to PJ Warden, sent a super chat, says, "Good morning, Peanut. Much love from Florida. Wadada. Good to get wicked smart so early in the morning, rising to the street." Yes. Thank you so much for that super chat. Now let's feed the kitty cat to get Chan super duper fat. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. And if you'd like to support this channel, please go over to the Patreon. Put your thoughts down in the comment section below on anything you found as well. And we also have a membership now over on YouTube, where you will get the early access. Did a live stream video yesterday going over a lot of the occult symbols in The Office and symbolism worldwide. The Patreon, it's quite easy. All you got to do is go to see membership options and go subscribe. Cheaper than a bag of Skittles. And then you just put your information in and you sign up there. Or if you're on YouTube, you just click that join button down below and you get potato emojis. Anyway, it's Donut. Much love. And God bless you.